Welcome everyone, Questini here with a discussion about Ungrim Ironfist, the most worthless legendary lord in the game. Not the worst legendary lord in the game, that's a different discussion. The worst would be a legendary lord of a bad race in a bad campaign, so someone like Kugaf would be actually worse, because Nurgle is far worse than the dwarves in a lot of ways. But when I say worthless, I mean in the sense that they add very, very little to their faction, to their campaign, compared to, say, a generic lord. That's what I'm really talking about over here in the campaign. And say what you will about Kugaf, Kugaf does add a lot to Nurgle. In fact, he's kind of half the reason Nurgle has even any kind of remote chance of playing a campaign. Ungrim just doesn't add a lot. He can recruit slayers more cheaply, and he has more infantry speed. And he also has an upkeep benefit and an ability that, yeah, it's not really that great what he ultimately has in his campaign. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to play Ungrim's campaign in the best possible way as I see it. Not the way some people want to argue it should be played. Like, for instance, you start with a runesmith, and some people argue, oh, the runesmiths are focused more melee. And by universe, okay, you get rune speed, I understand that. But the thing about things like the runes, you look at Rune of Oath of Steel, this is a strong range benefit because in range duels, or if you're range units, quarrelers are pretty solid in melee. If they engage in melee, that's great. Rune of Wrath Rune, obviously doing a lot of damage to individual units. Rune of Slowness, slowing down units as they're trying to break your line. Rune of Breaking, okay, that's a melee rune, fair enough, but use it on Ungrim because it only affects one target. Rune of Negation, you can use it on your range units. And, oh yeah, Ward Breaker, reducing missile resistance by 10%. Some people will go to extreme lengths to argue that a piece of trash is not a piece of trash. Like, you can like whatever campaign you want. I don't give a damn. But if you need your opinion to be validated by anything I'm saying, then, well, I think that's more so a problem on some people's ends. Now, I am using a mod that improves dodge resolve, but I am playing on Legendary very hard here. The reason this is important is because the mods I'm using, they maintain the level of AI aggression that you would see on Legendary very hard by default, while forcing you to fight a lot less of these meaningless battles. Like, there's no way this army is doing any kind of real damage to Ungrim. In fact, Ungrim could very likely solve it, or Ungrim and the Runesmith would duo this army. So having to fight that, yeah, that's not going to be an experience. But what I'm going to do here is like just show what the best path is in Ungrim's campaign. So we're going to take the lair over there, and we are just going to occupy it. I'm not going to loot and occupy it because that's pointless. And right now, I am just going to recruit a bunch of slayers and get more unit recruitment, because I do actually want to get a bunch of slayers from Ungrim. This is not ideal, I might add, in his campaign, because you might think, oh, he has a bunch of Slayer benefits. I would rather take a tier 2 barracks as opposed to the Slayer Shrine of Karakurt. Unfortunately, I start with the Slayer Shrine, and speed is the essence in a particular campaign. But that's already the first thing that you're going to struggle with. What you always want to research in every Dwarven campaign, and anyone who says otherwise is honestly living on Mars as far as I'm concerned, you want to get autonomy of the holds. Ideally, you would get High King Authority, but really you just want that autonomy of the holds for that extra growth. Growth is essential for dwarves. Now, with this out of the way, like, we're going to go for red peaks. The concern I'm going to have, I'm just going to show the map. This is turn 1, no one's moved. So, Forgrim over here is under threat from Skarsnik. Now, this is an issue when you're playing a Belegar campaign or an Ungrim campaign. There are chances that Forgrim will be wiped out very quickly. There are chances he will wipe out Skarsnik very quickly. Dependent on how that plays out, you may have to do certain decisions. But you want Forgrim to survive, so you're going to have to go south if you're playing with Ungrim. And his camp, the problem this creates is that a lot of your grudges are over here in the north. So you get this bad campaign dynamic that does exist in Ungrim's campaign, where you really, really, really want to rush south. Hell, even like your enemies are focused on the south. You really want to rush south to save Forgrim from Skarsnik. And that's kind of the first problem to talk about here in this particular campaign, that your campaign plan, like the grudges, the objectives, if you will, are focused in the north, but you really want to go south. You want to go south because that's where the real threats are. Things like Queek potentially becoming a powerhouse, Skarsnik wiping out Forgrim. Those are not the things you should ignore in a campaign. And sure, you can hope that things are not going to go down that path. But the chances, but relying on your AI partners doing a good job is a surefire way of ending up in a disaster in Warhammer 3. Just don't rely on allies in general, and you'll do far better. Okay, so we have encountered Draika, no Slayers over there. We're going to teleport here. So the reason I'm teleporting, or using the underway rather, the reason I'm going to get Grungning to reduce the construction cost and get that research rate buff. The reason I teleported over there, and we're going to get more artillery. So how many... Okay, Slayers. Yeah, so I'm going to get as many Slayers as I possibly can over here. But I obviously I want free artillery units. I'm gonna have to get some miners with Ungrim. You know, sometimes you just gotta recruit what is available, and what is available is not necessarily ideal, but you just need a mass of units.
The Empire.
That is your particular objective during the course of a campaign. And I'm also going to declare war on these ogres, just a bit of money from Azak, because we are going to need that particular money. We're gonna declare war on the Bloody Spears.
What? So?
This is key element. Like, these kind of declarations of war give you the resources you need for the sake of your campaign. Now, what's kind of worse in Ungrim's campaign is Zufbar doesn't like you. They like Thorgrim. Like, if you're playing a campaign over here in this area, there's literally no reason to not play Thorgrim as opposed to playing Ungrim and Belegar. Like, the campaign situation is just not that great. And yeah, the Greenskins try to escape. So, get screwed. As expected. That's why I positioned the army there, because I knew I could intercept them. You won't see a lot of manual battles here, like, because of the auto-resolve mods I'm using, but unless, like, it's an army I know would potentially cause some struggles, I am not gonna fight a manual battle. Oh, I'm sorry for people who really obsess over this idea, like, oh, you should really fight the battles manually. It's like, no. I do not care anymore with a lot of the battles. So, artillery will be done soon enough. Once it is done, so we're gonna get 6 layers over there. Now for him, what we want to get here is Doom Seekers as quickly as possible. So I'm gonna go with Determined Death Blow. Greenskins, Warriors of Chaos, let's go Greenskins. So I'm gonna get Doom Seekers. That's kind of an important benefit. For the Runesmith, we're gonna get the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Now, the Rune of Wrath and Ruin is important for the sake of sieges. The reason it's so important for the sake of sieges comes down to... Okay, do I have... Okay.
The Empire. Obey. What? Dwarves. I hope we can.
So he would give me 900. She would give me 500. Okay, so I would get more potentially over there. But yeah, I'm just keeping myself trying to maintain my income over here. And trying to recruit artillery. Now, obviously there's an argument to be made for the sake of, you know, growth. For the sake of focusing on growth. But the clock is ticking. Skarsnik is going to wipe out Thorgrim if I'm not careful. And so I want to be there to prevent that from happening. At least on this difficulty. On a lower difficulty, if you're playing on normal, it's less of an issue. But, I mean, in the end, like, Thorgrim might be able to eke out a win on normal, but just don't rely on it. And besides, there's other concerns as well. Because Thorgrim is not, like, the issue with AI Thorgrim is the fact that he doesn't just have Skarsnik. If it was just Skarsnik, that would be one thing. No, it's Skarsnik. It's the situation of having to deal with Skarsnik, having to deal with... Okay, let's get that particular artillery. I'm going to cancel this because this one I will be able to focus on to get the Growth Commandant.
Dwarves.
Okay, let's get that non-aggression pact. Okay.
What?
Grave times.
What dost thou want, dwarf?
Now, Vlad is likely to declare war on you, and Karakadrin will not be able to stop him. Okay, so over here, we can go for Grand Peak next turn. Now, one of the things to mention about the Rune of Wrath and Ruin is that as long as you have a single runesmith with it on, and if we go into the settings here, if you have a battle time limit of unlimited, you cannot lose an offensive siege battle, because you can always just recast the Rune of Wrath and Ruin again and again and again. And now I'm going to get rid of the Slayer Shrine of Carcadrin and start getting a barracks over there.
I must fulfill my Slayer oath.
My axe thirsts for war.
I am the Slayer King.
Summon me if you dare.
I grow restless.
Alright, I'm not gonna recruit any more miners over here. Let's get Doomseekers. And over here, I am going to get the Thunder ability. I'm not gonna upgrade my Slayers. Besides, Slayers are obviously... Slayers are obviously good in melee regardless. That's not the problem. The problem is they are very squishy as units. So what you really are concerned about...
Follow Dowie.
Okay, so we don't have a war just yet between the two of them.
Oath-bound.
That would actually be good if it didn't start.
What is your...
Because then I could take Skarsenek's gold mine for myself and use it for myself. In that situation. But the problem is I've got Isaac, Vlad from the north, and yes, they will likely declare war on me. Alright, let's get rid of this building. Now, the decision that will be important over here is how do I go deal with Tretch? Because Tretch is, like, I assume might take Skarsenek. Now, you can give this territory to Thorgrim. Territory that you just gained, fought hard over. Depends on the situation. That's also an annoying thing, is like you get to decide, it's like, oh, you fought hard for this territory.
A quest has been issued.
That will be dealt with later.
The Slayer in me seeks death. My vows will be satisfied with this.
For the wisdom of the layer.
Okay. Now over here, get the barracks. I would get the dice, but not right now.
Let us begin. Forwards.
We likes an uninvited guest.
Alright, he's at war with the mutinous Gits.
What? Before you says anything, Gabriel ain't eating today. Nice.
Alright, I only got one war going at the moment. Gonna get more Ruin, Wrath of Ruin. Could get the Armor Ruin as well. Okay, so barracks is built. Control might be a bit of an issue. But I'm going to want to get the tier 2 settlement as quickly as possible. At least over here. So I'm gonna get the thing Grom. Or actually not Grom Peak. It depends on Mount Gunbad. What you want to do is get Gotrek and Felix as quickly as possible, and that requires the control building. Now, one of the things Skarsling may do is he may ignore Thorgrim and go for Carrick 8 Peaks, which is not ideal, because if you do wipe him out in that situation, safeguard.
Don't mess with me! What?
Because there is this delay that does happen.
I must fulfill my
Okay.
Slayer oath.
So over here, we declare war.
Chance.
Now, of course, I modded all that, but
I'm the Slayer King.
we're gonna move all of this. Give this particular army all the units. Including the runesmith. So that they wouldn't be tired. And yeah, this would be an easy win. Use the runesmith to on units on the wall. Like most of these guys are melee. There's certainly a decent amount of ranged over here. You use the artillery, break down the walls. Use the runesmith. It would be an annoying battle, but it would certainly be winnable. Easily winnable in point of fact.
Yes.
Okay. So, inspiring presence, and we're gonna start getting tactician on him.
Aye.
And after here, I am going to get more and Thunderer.
What?
And yeah, gonna get all of these guys. Come on, game. Because they will just have, and yeah, give him the minor, because Ungrim will have higher replenishment due to Doom Seekers. Now for the runesmith, well, it depends on how you want to view it. Rune of Oath and Steel, and over here get this barracks to a higher tier as well.
Aye. Who called?
This is where we get into the annoyances, don't we?
What?
Not having enough money, for instance, in your campaign
Ready.
to get to a potentially higher tier. I mean, obviously I could remove all of these guys, all the miners. But clearly not ideal. Okay, so he's taken a high pass. He's at war with Skarsnik. That's kind of all I needed here. Now, I could turn back around, let Thorgrim deal with all of this. Thorgrim should be able to defeat what remains of Skarsnik, give him this territory, go north, go deal with Azag. Of course, you gotta talk about one thing.
I grow restless.
Time for a reckoning.
Onward.
Aye.
Now, I'm not gonna be able to...
All here are honored dwarf kin.
And you know what? I'm gonna cancel a gold mine and get the barracks so I can sell it for more to Thorgrim. Okay.
Beards in belts. It is time.
Well,
Summon
that's
me if you
useful.
dare. No reason for it.
Ready.
A bit buggy.
What?
Onward.
Now, the ideal scenario would be for Skarsnik to beat up Thorgrim a bit, so that you can actually go take all this territory to yourself. Because having to go back and forth in territory like this is obviously not an ideal circumstance at all. Don't know what Thorgrim is doing over there, but hey, he's gonna get an expensive barracks in just a moment. Alright, so we get Cafe. One of the few nice things about Thorgrim is that, about Ungrim actually, is that quite a few caravans will be passing through your territory. So, you go to these caravans.
My axe thirsts for war.
To war. This will not take me to my death.
This is hardly a pleasure.
One right.
And you get vision on these factions. And even though you may not necessarily get an agreement with them
Welcome, kin.
from the very beginning,
Yes.
there's my financial issues recovered.
Celestial General, good day. I am...
And also vision with Barak Var.
And what can the Dawi do for you on this fine day? Oathbound.
We can declare war on Scrag.
One rag.
Just gonna repair that.
Anat.
Let us begin.
Now, one of the things I haven't gotten so far is the Slayer banner to reduce upkeep. I'm not going to recruit any more Slayers in this campaign. Well, I could recruit one for global recruitment, but like outside of like global recruitment benefits, there's zero reason I feel to bother recruiting any kind of Slayers. Ungrim did take a bit of damage over there. But it does look like he did manage to defeat Skarsnik's main army, which is a nice solid... Okay, yes, this is the inevitability of what happens here. Tretch goes to war against Ungrim or whoever holds this territory. If you're playing Skarsnik, Tretch will declare war on you. If you're playing Ungrim, he will declare war on you. If you play Ungrim and you control that territory, he will declare war on you. That's what Tretch does. Now, it is a fun experience. What you want to do here is get the Silver Pinnacle. You don't want to hold it. You don't want to go into the Darklands. You don't want to go deal with Grimgor when you've got to deal with Azak. So what you want to do in this campaign dynamic situation is come over here and let's just start recruiting some Quarrelers. Actually, I'll get rid of the Miners because, yeah, they serve the temporary purpose in my army. That's about it. Now, money is going to be tight, but we can get some money for declarations of war.
On this fine day. All right.
Just don't declare war on major factions and you'll be fine. Minor factions halfway around the world, or major factions around the world, that is a fine situation.
What you want?
But this is what keeps your economy afloat.
To war.
Okay, so we got some lovely growth. I'm gonna keep that growth going.
I am the Slayer.
So autonomy of the holds, I'm gonna go for High King Authority actually. Although the extra control doesn't necessarily feel that particularly meaningful, does it? I can always go for Venerate the Ancestors if things are gonna get too dicey. So over here, I'm going to start slowly. I'm not in a rush. In fact, rushing it would probably end in disaster. So what's my next goal? Well, I want to take the Silver Pinnacle for myself, sell it to the Greenskins. Oh yes, Dwarves trading with Greenskins. What has the world come to? And then go deal with Azak. If I encounter Azak, that is obviously a fight I'll have to manually fight. It's not really an issue though. But his garrisons, all that, like, you can win garrison battles with minimal casualties. It's just not fun to do so. And the thing about Ungrim, this is what I want to stress out. He does have that better casualty replenishment for Slayers. It doesn't matter. Like, you can minimize melee casualties, no problem. But the issue I have... Okay. Like, the issue I have with that is, like, you can go into manual battles and take literally no casualties whatsoever if you are, and take no casualties whatsoever. Okay. Hello, Balakvar. They're gonna lose to this Cabi, or they're gonna lose to Scrag. Let's get Forge Fire. And we're gonna take out the Silver Pinnacle. There is an army over there, but it's not really going to be too much of a hassle to deal with. Now, the reason I've put the barracks here is obviously I want to get the provincial capital to tier 3 as quickly as possible, so I want to get that Fane as quickly as possible. Obviously, these barracks that only go to tier 3 would be ideally built. But sometimes you just gotta make those early game decisions that aren't necessarily the most ideal ones to make in the world, but are necessary ones. And reminder, I'm at war with Trich. Oh, Ungrim, what are you gonna do? He's just gonna get himself killed. Though, to be fair, Trich does tend to attack a lot of Skaven slaves, and Ungrim does have free armies. Here's the thing, you just need to defeat Skarsnik, but if you end up in a war with Trich, like if you could take all of Skarsnik's province, this was a good situation, because Ungrim did not lose anything against Skarsnik. So I was able to move fast enough. Speed is important. Okay, so over here we have an army outside and an army inside. Now, as the dwarves, one of the things you want to do in a lot of these kind of situations is like attack the army outside. There's no way this army is able to beat this army. One of the reasons you want to do this as the dwarves is you want to get drink to victory. The benefits it provides are pretty useful. And then, yeah, just deal with this element. Take it over. It's got barracks, good. And I can get the peace treaty with them. Maybe sell them back, sell it back to them.
Speak, dwarf, before I have you.
To die in battle.
Okay, I got the Slayer Ward, so I am able to reduce Slayer, the Slayer upkeep by 25%. The one thing I want here is Ward Breaker. This is an incredibly powerful range benefit in a campaign. Maybe I should get rid of that Dwarf Warrior and just, yeah, get the Slayer. Because at this point, it's actually cheaper. Now, it only works for Ungrim's army, all this replenishment. So for him, yeah, getting an army with Slayers for him, they'll still take a lot of damage in auto-resolve and in manual battle, unless you're willing to micro the crap out of them, and I'm like, no thanks. But, can I attack that? Yes, I can. Okay, so we're gonna get some here. Ungrim is gonna come in and help out. Making a deal with the Greenskins to secure my eastern border while I go deal with Azag. Not the worst deal you can make in the world. Now, Carrick Kadrin is under threat, as I've stated. And it will remain under threat until I can do the circle around here. This is, by the way, a great situation, because like one of the things I've argued, and you should do it if the opportunity presents itself. Like if Ungrim starts losing and you are intervening at that point, you're going to be stuck in the south. This is like kind of the best case scenario, like I helped Ungrim and now I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. Unless until they drag me back in. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go to Draika. The thing about Draika and Azag is they end up in a war with each other. Probably because they need the same territory in the campaign. Now, I'm a bit concerned about Azag being there. Okay, so he's got an army.
Yes. No. Onward. Ready, access.
But it's not really a substantial enough force. Choices. Alright, move him here. Sell these greenskins the Silver Pinnacle and get a non-aggression pact as well.
Let's do this.
Favored. For what frippery do you distract me from
Declare
the
war on
defenseless
Snitch.
star?
Time for a reckoning. Ready.
I am the Slayer King.
One rag.
Anat.
Now, eventually, I will want to get rid of these Slayers in this particular army. One of the things I can do is obviously fight these quest battles that Ungrim does have. That said, you may want to go about that with a bit more replenishment. Rune of Hearth and Home, and over here get Damping as well. Okay, good. Now, I am going to deal with Azag, but one of the reasons you may want to fight those quest battles, one of the principal reasons in point of fact, has to do with the fact that they give you a temporary boost to replenish. Okay, now while I certainly have auto-resolved some battles that wouldn't have worked in vanilla, every single battle I have fought so far, unless I meet Azag's main army, which is not a given because he's at war with Draika, remember that? Unless I meet Draika or Vlad, there is no battle over here that is going to be a genuine threat. Like, if Skarsenik had his main army at his capital, sure, I would have probably had to fight that, right? But so far, like, that's the thing about auto-resolve, really. And this is the thing about Ungrim in particular, because those Slayers that I mentioned, they can take a lot of damage. You can minimize that damage if you're using certain tactics, absolutely. But it's like they end up being far more painful than they should be as battles. Okay. So let's get the Slayer crown. Yeah. There's 0 chance. Auto-resolve quest battle mod recommended. Okay. Ungrim should be able to handle that, so I need to march my army here and increase their recruitment capacity, because I've got Azag that might just decide to try his luck. He won't stop me from taking out his army, his settlements, but he might stop me from being able to, he might stop me by marching on Karakadrin. Like, you've got this kind of ping-pong situation with Ungrim, and it's like, that's where it gets, like, really annoying. And you're playing essentially a generic lord who has, like, one Slayer army that's not especially a top-tier one. Oh, yeah, it's got a bunch of experience in this case, but, yeah. It is turn 14. Let me just point it in the most blunt way. You can achieve a lot more with Ungrim. Hell, you can achieve a lot more with Belegar. So now we take the mine, we deal with the grudge, we then prepare to march on Vlad. Assuming Draika doesn't wipe out Azag now that his unit recruitment is eliminated. This is kind of, like, as I said, this campaign, the way it's played out so far, is the best case scenario, because, again, Ungrim did not lose a lot of territory, forcing me to march all the way to his capital. I've had campaigns where that's happened, where I had to basically push. Right, so we got Gotrek and Felix over there. I will recruit them. And we're gonna get some quarrelers with grey weapons. And we're gonna take this particular settlement. You know, I always feel like it's never worth it, because dwarves have such a miserable freaking growth system. Okay, so what am I gonna start doing now? Something that I'm sure will piss off a lot of people, but all the same. Now, I know. What is the duration? Okay, so it's one more turn. Fine. We're gonna start getting rid of these slayers. And start getting quarrelers. It's just flat out a better army. But I'll do so slowly. There's still a value in them because they're so experienced, but right now I just want to start getting those quarrelers. In both cases. Not gonna repair that barracks. It was fortunate that I captured a tier 2 barracks from Azag there, though.
Welcome.
Alright, he's at war with them.
Queen of Keys disrespect me, and you disrespect. A pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You dare? Oh, how I enjoy the.
Do I have vision? Another thing worth mentioning. If you're playing Ungrim as opposed to Ungrim, Ungrim has vision over... or vision, he knows Karl Franz, right? So you can start with a trade agreement with Karl Franz. This is actually more important than you might believe, because Karl Franz will end up in a lot of wars with, like, he'll start with a war with Khazrak and all that kind of stuff. So having that level of vision over that area, or having knowledge of that area, is actually quite important. So I'm gonna get Gotrek and Felix over here, and keep in mind that outside the mod resolve mods, there's nothing that I'm using that fixed stats or anything like that. Anyway. Now, the risk exists here that Trench might just bypass Ungrim, though it's a fairly minor one. Trench might bypass Ungrim and attack you. That's the issue. You're fighting a campaign on not 2 fronts, like 4 fronts, 6 fronts even. Now, what are those 6 fronts, you might ask? Well, the campaign in the southwest, the campaign in the southeast, because yes, you do care about what's happening here, you can't rely on Ungrim doing anything. You then have the east, then you have the west, so Vlad and the vampires, then you have the situation in the northeast. So 5, fair enough. Not quite 6, but still 5. I suppose you understand my perspective. When you have to fight the campaign on so many fronts as a bad race, and the crazy thing is, like, Ungrim will survive this one under control of that, because... Where's... There we go. Now I'm gonna keep this Lord, and I'm just gonna use Gotrek and Felix. There is a mod that makes them permanent in your faction, so I'm gonna get 1 more artillery piece, 2 more quarrelers. Income is in a good situation. Gonna get more quarrelers. Now, if you can... If Ungrim can be in a situation where you know he's gonna survive, then just leave him be, because eventually you should be able to confederate him outright. You won't confederate so far, but hey, sometimes you just gotta deal with what you gotta deal with. Alright, grudge level is fairly low, and will get even lower once I do beat up Vlad, but I still need to be concerned about Azag. Because Azag does have a lot of armies over here. Okay. So, Raziak or Red Eye Mountain as it's called. It's kind of funny, they changed the name in Warhammer too, but they didn't bother changing the name in Warhammer 3. Well, that's just one arm. Don't tell me he's beating Draika, because I refuse to accept that. Well, if he is beating Draika, I'll ignore what's happening there, go and maybe wait for him to actually fully defeat Draika and then give the territory to Kislev. Okay. I wonder if the Griffin Wood is still alive. Draika, Wood Elves in general don't make for good allies. Right, get rid of the garrison.
Summon me if you dare. Gotrek Gurnison! Where's the slaughter?
Alright, so 3 more.
Ready. Seek our doom.
Okay, now is a good time to get that next quest battle. It's more so for the money than anything else. There we go.
To die in battle.
We're gonna get Tactician. I think I'll just not bother with Slayer and instead go for hard to hit. There we go, more Quarrelers. A couple of Slayers are not too bad, but Quarrelers are just better. Flat out. Oh, but that's the benefits of his campaign. I don't care what the benefits are. If they're bad benefits, I'm not gonna bother with them. Just because a particular campaign is designed to be played in a certain way does not mean you have to follow what Creative Assembly tells you. Alright, so probably those are gonna be the last Quarrelers I do recruit over here in this army.
My axe thirsts for war.
Alright, let's just move Gotrek and Felix closer to the front. I might actually just use them for the sake of recruitment. Income is looking pretty sweet for a moment. 29 turns, 10% casualty replenishment. So, do I start a war with Vlad? And hope that Azag and Draika mutually wipe each other out? Because Azag still probably has an entire army and he can replenish very quickly. And he does have suitable climate in the Empire, so maybe going after him would be ideal. If you're picking a fight with Vlad, and you do need to pick a fight with Vlad as the dwarves, my advice on that subject, if you're going against Vlad, you bring everything you get against the bastard, because he's not going to go down easily. Now, why does Ungrim's AI do better? Well, fly out better economy. Also, funnily enough, he doesn't actually recruit Slayers. Yeah, I'm saying that. Okay, let me worry about the control for a bit. Level this up. Okay, should be fine, should be fine. Maybe. Let's get that trading depot.
To die in battle.
Okay.
Yes, for Slayer Cape.
It is time. The throng agrees.
So over here,
Okay.
get more Quarrelers. Actually, how much artillery do I have per army? So 3 or 4. Get rid of another Slayer, get rid of a Renown, maybe? Let's just get 3 Quarrelers.
The dragon, in the name of the dragon. Agreed.
Okay, declare that war.
We make...
Ready? It is time. I am.
So everyone seems to have decided that, oh, we really, really hate Draika. It's kind of funny, actually. Well, Katrin's decided that she wants to wipe out Azag. So I suppose Azag is not really going to be too much of a concern. If Vlad and Isabella show up, I think 2 entire armies of dwarves will win that fight. Problem will be dealing with Vlad, because he's Vlad, so yeah. Look at the Fecundites are losing. Campaign dynamics play out randomly. Creative Assembly made sure of that. I'm worried about Tretch a bit, but I'm not gonna march on. You know what? I'm gonna conquer Zufbar. This is a stupid thing about this. I just kind of realized, like, what I'm doing here.
I must fulfill my Slayer oath.
Aye? To war! Let us be about this.
Aye, I'll move.
And?
You.
What?
Like, I got no agreement.
Must butcher. That you have been told. And add?
What? My minions are restless. This had better be important.
Aye.
And we'll see how important it is. Maybe I should declare war on Zufbar for the fricking greenskins. Now, Northern Sylvania, Southern Sylvania I'll take for myself. Gold mine makes it worth it. Northern Sylvania I'll give to Katrin, assuming I can. I'm not going to count on that, though. And I'm curious to see what happens to Isaac. Just because I can rush the Isaac doesn't mean I should. I am paying attention to the diplomacy situation, but... well, there he is. Jeez. Yeah, he's not winning this. Like, it's like... okay. I can't quite understand how he thinks he could win this. You know, just so people... but okay. Okay, Azag. Let's see what we got. Deploy Slayers in a single formation. They're gonna just soak some of the damage. He's got a lot of melee units anyway, so... well, not a lot necessarily, but enough. Okay, so we're just gonna speed it up. I'll wait for all my quarrelers to deploy. I am not shy about sacrificing my Slayers if it boils down to it. Remember, he attacked me, so he needs to win in this situation. There we go. Okay, here he comes. The big fat boy. Well, not the fattest, of course. That would be Grom, but you know, remind me again how dwarves are going to excel. How dwarves should play with a melee playstyle. I really want to hear that from all the people who are like, "Oh, you should play with a melee playstyle." It's like, why? This army, holy shit! Look at this army. Look at the artillery that's just gonna pulverize him before he even gets close. Oh, he's using some magic spells. I'm really terrified. Just gonna position him in like a bit of an angle here to absorb the cavalry charge. Alright, we got wyverns. That's from the Wa.
bearers, ho! To the Karazhan door! Shield bearers, ho! Axes out! Yes, Lord! The next kill is ours! Fire!
Alright, Wyvern dead. One of them at the very least.
Nothing can stop us!
Maybe the Troll Hammer Torpedo will actually prove useful for freaking once.
It is a reckoning! Nothing can stop us! They have wronged us! All dead eyes!
The biggest concern against the enemy is their range units.
War of vengeance! Move! The clans unite! Plow through! Understood! The axe of Dargo bursts! Slayers!
Okay.
The runes are cast! Thunderers! Ready to strike! Cadwin will march! Kill them! I am the ranking lord!
Well, that's lovely.
Runes of spellbreaking! That'll do!
Use the Rune of Wrath and Ruin there.
Veterans!
Let's actually get some use out of these freaking...
Dwarf honor is at stake! Slay
Well, that's
the
great.
traitors! Get moving! Pick your targets well! Chicken aim! Zah! And... It's a reckoning! There! Go! Down! Move now! Ordnance ready! Quarrelers! Will do! We demand blood! Let's start shooting! The clans unite! They have wronged us! It is a reckoning!
This is over. The only question is how many of my guys are gonna die, and by the looks of it, quite a lot of the Slayers will die.
Quarrelers! Strike out!
Let's get them out of there. All of them.
Scuff! Firing on fire!
Yeah, using them as a front line is a bad idea, I admit. That's on me. I'll just do some more shooting. Victory. I suppose that was the main threat. Alright, victory. And let's get the gold. Now I wonder if I can even deal with Vlad, given the damage my Slayers have taken. Now, of course, I could have minimized the losses among the Slayers if I had used them a bit differently, but you know, Ungrim's kind of supposed to be
My
pure Slayers.
would have me kill you where you...
Oh no shit. The big surprise. My eastern flank is about to collapse.
I must fulfill my Slayer oath.
Alright, the axe.
For the wisdom of Valea, let us settle this. Nope. The throng agree. Ready, axes?
I am the Slayer King.
Send me a champion! Summon me if you dare.
I grow restless. Sure enough.
Okay, merge them together.
Yes.
Because they took a lot of damage. And get more Slayers with over here.
It is time. The Slayer in me seeks death.
The Rune of Grimnir.
Ready.
I know what's gonna happen there. I had, well...
Mistress of Ice, it is our response. My people.
Yes.
Should I sell this to Draco or Katrin? Maybe Katrin.
Stop that!
Casualty replenishment is not as good as it could be, but more time. Did he take out the Griffin with? Probably not. I'd be very shocked if he did. So now Isaac gets to feel my wrath. But yeah, just screw Slayers. Don't recruit them. Don't use them unless you have to. And this campaign you just have to from the start. Don't care. Wow. We got the Thunderdome about to start over there. Problem is, if Orgrim loses that fight, I'm gonna... Like, that's the thing. You're fighting this war on multiple fronts and you don't have the resources to succeed in it. Maybe I should break my alliance with Draco.
Yes, my oath is intact.
Oh, how horrible. I lose some Slayers. I lose the trash.
Sigma's darkness come. It isn't him any good. Now?
Yes. I will listen, but my time is short. Yes.
Ready.
Or I can merge some units and, yeah. Get another grudge for her.
Or not.
Okay.
Ah, to die in battle.
Okay.
I'm the Slayer King.
Garage! Out with the lanterns! On the move!
Kadrin attacks!
So much for Isaac.
Forwards!
I wonder if Draco is going to be nice about all of this. Probably not. We're just going to get one Slayer. Disposable trash. And the problem is, of course, I am well aware, cognizant of the fact that I'm losing unit ranks because I couldn't give a damn about them. But I don't give a damn about them. Let's get heavy cornerstones. Get that extra growth. Get hard to hit and scarred veteran.
To die in battle.
Over here, let's get some hardening of the armor.
I must fulfill my Slayer oath.
Now you might argue, well, you should obviously care about Slayers, to which I reply, die? It's like, this army is better than this army, minus Ungrim and the Runesmith. That's not even a question. And despite the unit ranks. Okay, so it seems like, yeah, he has taken all of Stirland. This is a bit of an issue. So maybe I should just prod Vlad. That's a bad idea if I heard one, but maybe just piss him off a bit, deal with the grudge, and, well, it seems he's winning, so do I want that fight? Oh dear.
Welcome to my throng.
What do you want? Oh, military access. We'll go for it. It depends on whether or not Karl, Franz, and Gelt are also suffering, or if it's just Stirland. Stirland losing when they are at war with the Changeling. It's like, do you know who the true beneficiary is of the Changeling being added to the Empire? It's fucking Vlad's AI. It's like, because he basically takes all of Sylvania, Stirland, without any opposition, and then he gets bogged down fighting Averheim. Well, Averheim's not going to stop him, but Gelt and Franz by that point do arrive and do try and stop him. Whether or not they succeed is another matter.
The Slayer in me seeks death. Aye, but the axe of Dargo demands blood.
Okay, he started the war with Draika. Okay, let's deal with it.
Welcome. All right.
Alright, Midland is alive. Talbeckland has wiped out Festus. That's a shocking situation. What? Did not expect that one to happen. Let's get barracks here.
Thou shalt treat me with the respect I deserve, or die.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
For the wisdom of Valea.
Yeah.
Grudges will be settled. Forwards.
I'm gonna sell this to Catherine.
Like the motherland, our friendship.
No, I can't. Rip.
Welcome.
Draika is then. Maybe she'll actually do something with it. You know what? Generally speaking, I would actually argue that Wood Elves are freaking crap allies, but interesting side note. In this circumstance, Draika might actually be the exception. Let me explain. Most of the time, the reason that Wood Elves are bad allies, right, is due to the fact that due to the simple fact that they end up in kind of like an isolated position, and they're not willing to move for territory they don't control to attack other factions. Who is gonna win? Place your bets, gentlemen. I'm gonna put my bet on okay, Valea. Yeah, I'm not fond of that, but I do want a Rune Lord. Time to start recruiting another army.
What?
Yes, we're going there. Let's get Dawi firepower. And over here, hardened armor. I'm abusing this casualty replenishment you get from those quest battles. Now, mind you, I am not going to defeat Vlad over here. I'm just kind of using him as a speed bump to get to Zufbar. That's true. I am going to invade Zufbar from Sylvania. Okay, Tretch is gone. Although I could certainly defeat Vlad. I'm not necessarily too concerned on that. Casualties will be high, but
Slayer oath would have
what
me
do you
kill
want?
you, eh?
How about you go deal with your own freaking problems? Like Vlad. Maybe I should just take Southern Sylvania for myself.
I am the Slayer King.
Godtrek!
The Slayer in me seeks death.
My axe thirsts for war. Moving! Why not?
Dragon and a half awaits.
On thy knees. Then
What?
Until he loses an army, it doesn't matter.
Greetings on behalf of course.
With
Shadow Walker.
Alright, I'm gonna prepare for the Darklands campaign. I'm gonna hope that Ungrim has what it takes to keep the situation there in check, because Jesus, that is gonna be a hell of a fight if he doesn't. Okay, over here, what do I want? I'm gonna get an engineer. Maybe even get rid of the income structure. That would be a pretty terrible idea, though. But I obviously want... Well, I'll get an engineer, right? And then once he's finished, I'll get rid of that structure, because I won't get it until higher tiers. And then, yeah, just get the runesmith and also get Fane. To the surprise of no one that breathes, the AI is taking advantage of my troops being in a different position. I'll send Gotrek and Felix to deal with that. Let's get you're on your own.
Ready.
Summon me if you dare.
Drink them! Attack them!
Godtrek!
They should be able to defeat this particular army. And if not, well...
Point taken. A reckoning in blood. No use for them.
There we go.
Garage! A mighty death! Dismiss the useless cattle. Godtrek, Kurtis up. One rag, go then.
My command.
Dragonov is mine.
on thy knees. Then and only then shall I
It
hear thy
would be
words.
great at this point to actually get the piece, but
I am open to assisting.
that price would be worth it, but not right now. Not quite right now. I still have one more settlement that I want to capture before I do accept that. Let's get that gold mine. Grudge is finished, at least.
It is time.
Now, one of the things I haven't been doing is using all that oath gold for for items. It's all well and nice, but it is pretty annoying. We got some runes. Wait, what? There we go.
I am the Slayer King.
Let's get more scouting. And next up we take, well, that particular settlement. Gonna get some dwarf warriors. Just a stopgap, nothing more. So, one of Vlad and Isabella's armies has been defeated. There is another one. Has he taken Averheim? By the looks of it, he has. He did. Now I'm gonna bankrupt myself because the greenskins in the north there might attack me. What is Vlad doing? Oh, I might have to take Templehof. Sure.
I must fulfill my Slayer oath.
We march.
Moving.
Gotrek, Gurnishan. Beast Slayer.
Thou shalt treat me with the respect.
What? Dowry from another hold? Agreed.
Lead.
Bow.
General. No dragons, I'm afraid. Only me. A compact.
Anad?
The Lord of the Jade Swan. Glad.
Declare war on some ogres. Oh, Vlad might just be willing to accept a peace treaty.
Wanrag? Come, come, kin. Let us feast and drink. Aye. Let's hear what you have to say. We'll hear it. Warzag.
What?
My cookpot.
Oh, he declared war on Sartosa. Fine. I'll take my fair share of the spoils.
Cower before me.
Onward. Oh.
The Scourge of Aquitaine.
Lord of all you see.
Ready.
Lord of Clan
Get inspiring presence. Ah, dear. There's no growth. Genuinely. It has stopped over here. Okay, we're gonna have to stop ourselves. And if Gotrek and Felix are killed, so be it. Let's see what Dreka does. As far as I'm concerned, my objective against Vlad is fulfilled. I just want to take one last settlement so I get control of the province, then I'll accept the peace treaty. Then I'll send Gotrek and Felix to go help the army there against... Yep. Gotrek and Felix. Don't underestimate the mad dwarf and his human buddy. Like seriously, Gotrek and Felix can serve fucking armies as long as they're not tar-pitted. You don't build an army for Gotrek and Felix, you build an army around Gotrek and Felix. I'm not really exaggerating on that subject, by the way. Okay, so let's use that underway. He gets to get that settlement. That would be it, I hope.
I do not bandy words with the weak.
Yeah, we'll just sell him one of these settlements. And we can hope that Waldenhof will satisfy him.
Thou shalt treat me with the respect I deserve, or die. I agree.
So, you stand as you say, sir.
War will come again.
What I will set aside my studies for a moment to hear you. Indeed. Ready.
And now Zufbar.
Yes, for Slayer King.
Ungrim is not gonna appreciate that.
Mess with me. What's your message? Right.
Then again, I don't really care.
It is time.
Dwarves fighting dwarves. What has the world come to?
I grow restless.
There's an army there, but it's not gonna stop Ungrim.
Casting the runes. No reason for it. Master of runecraft.
You get gold. So who's winning? No one. The crows. It seems like. That's fine by me.
For the wisdom of Valea.
Armed and ready.
Yes.
Alright. So, Carrig Drummer. After Zufbar is finished. Then Scrag. I know this won't last, right? He will break that non-aggression pact. The fight will begin again. And blind. Averheim. So now I'm just paying a lot of attention to what Forgrim is doing as well, because like Forgrim, like I want two things to not happen. One, I don't want Forgrim to be wiped out. Two, I obviously don't want Forgrim's capital to be wiped out, because Karazak is incredibly important. The rest, I don't give a shit if Forgrim only has 3 settlements and 2 heroes. It's like, that is it. That's like, I just want his capital to be a higher tier. Because obviously, his capital will become my capital.
Let us begin. Move.
We take that city. Oof. 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 May have overextended over there. Not really worried.
Where's the ale? Wazuk. Aye. My anger burns bright. Godtrek.
We're gonna take that settlement. There might be a rebellion here soon enough.
You. Yes.
What?
Karakaren.
Honor to your ancestors. So?
Not the worst decision.
For the wisdom of Valea.
Well, thanks. Thanks, game. Yeah, you're useless. Jesus. Alright, let's get rid of these buildings.
Summon me if you dare.
The important thing is I got Belegar.
I stand strong behind the shield of defiance. Speak. I will help.
Now.
And Reichland, apparently.
Darkness.
No, there will be no peace with Zufbar.
Ready.
Do I? No. I can't afford this freaking army. Let's just get rid of the buildings that are not meaningful. No, all of them. I'm not even going to use it for unit recruitment of any way.
To war.
Seems like they threw themselves against Vlad and came out worse for it. Well, that's why hurling yourself against Vlad will only make him stronger.
Together we...
Oh, he's getting wiped out. Holy shit. That's not good. Fuck. I'm gonna have to rescue Belegar, but the solution to that is not gonna be a simple one. Wow, that's the first time I see Belegar in any campaign actually losing. Holy crap. Well, I guess the RNG did favor Warzag. Having to rescue Belegar. Well, I won't rescue him directly. I don't have the forces necessary to launch a direct assault there, but what the hell happened? How does Belegar lose to freaking Warzag of all people? Look, okay, it might be the auto-resolve situation.
Your beard
possibly.
Is short, Dowie. It makes you...
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. Okay. You're gonna take Drakenhof while I smash your capital to pieces. Well, dwarves are imbeciles sometimes, aren't they?
I must fulfill my Slayer oath. To battle! The Slayer in me seeks death.
I wish I could keep that artillery shop. But I'll build it later. Okay.
Lord of Clan Ungrim.
We're gonna get the rebellion too. Maybe the rebellion will keep them in check to some extent. Okay, one of my armies is gonna have to go deal with Scrag. And the reason it's gonna go deal with Scrag actually has nothing to do with Scrag. It has everything to do with giving Belegar a clear path, a clear direct path.
Ready to swordfish.
Like, while Akendorf is not useful as a settlement for him, I just don't have the forces right now. I gotta deal with all of this. Campaigns sometimes go in weird ways. Jeez. Talk about weird, though. Okay, let's send this engineer. And we're gonna get the runesmith. Increase that capacity, too.
Xiaoming.
The Queen of Tides.
And then my armies were converged to take Sylvania back. Or Ungrim might just do that. I think his army can defeat those two armies over there. Yeah, I don't have the time, ability, or flexibility to go... Like, my army needs to go to Karakaren and then goes... then directly go for Scrag's, one of Scrag's elements. Which I then need to give to Belegar. Need to buy him time. So I can arrange forces to save his ass. Before it gets... This is the problem with the dwarves. And this is the problem in particular. You've got a lot of crap on your plate, right? You don't have the resources needed to win. It's like, oh, you could play a defensive... You can't. If you try and do so, you will lose. Flat out. Like, the campaign will be lost if you try and play a defensive campaign as Ungrim. Like, that's not even a question, that's a simple freaking fact. Okay, so they decide to do the dumb thing as opposed to the wise thing, and that's gonna help me out tremendously. If they had attacked Drakenhof, they would have won, by the way. Like...
It is my sacred duty to
Great. One rug.
Though I guess AI is hard-coded to attack settlements. Okay, we're gonna put this particular army in ambush stance. Okay.
Yes, there will be blood.
Dwarves fighting with dwarves is actually the best freaking option? Really? Are you freaking kidding? Because you get a post-battle replenishment option. Jeez, game. Okay, we're gonna get a rebellion here.
I am the Slayer King. The Slayer in me seeks death.
Like, I'm not surprised, mind you, but it's just stupid. It really is just stupid. Like, it makes sense, but it's also kind of stupid that the best post-battle option, the one that gives you replenishment, which you need as the dwarves, oh boy, do you need it, is something you only get when fighting fellow dwarves. It makes perfect sense, again. Also, just ridiculous. Plainly simple. Okay, he's only at war with... I'll need to be really careful over there. There is one grudge. But Grimgor. At least that particular grudge. I mean, it does have some value of 7, but it's like, at least can be dealt with.
I do not bandy work.
Yeah.
Sartosa's most infamous.
Alright, so Zufbar is mine. Why is there no landmark in Zufbar? You tell me that.
My axe thirsts for war.
So he's gonna march over here, take the settlement quickly.
Have you come
Oh,
to pledge me?
No. He's under siege. I swear, he is under siege, isn't he? I have to believe it. Like, okay. Yes, he is under siege. Velagar died to Warsack. I mean, you don't need to see it. Like, it's just like when you see smoke like this coming out of a settlement. Man, this campaign, holy fuck. And that's the thing, like, this is why Forgrim is much better, because, like, or Belegar even is much better, because, like, if you're playing Belegar or Forgrim, you can deal with others. Like, Ungrim also is just, like, yeah, he won't achieve a lot under the control of the AI, but he won't die, at least. Whereas, I can't say the exact same for the rest of them. Now, the only hope I have here, the moment I saw Warsack doing that, was like the moment that I realized, well, we're fucked. Oh, jeez. That's not gonna be good then. So I'm gonna instantly give this element to Belegar. Hopefully I can. The goal is to confederate him. So this is not gonna be good. So we just march over here. We go deal with the rebellion. Do I have any? Yeah, I do.
Yes.
What else do I want to do here, though?
To die in battle.
Operation Save Belegar. I just need one turn. That's all.
Yes, on the way.
Okay, right now, get the ammunition wagons, increase income. Yeah, see, this is why I should have stayed in the south, right? Probably would have ended up with Azak showing up at this doorstep of Karakadrin, but I wouldn't have lost Belegar at the very least. Sweet lord. Oh, guess I'm gonna have to rescue Ungrim. Okay. Rescue, yeah, Belagar, rescue Forgrim. No, it's not a question of rescuing him. It's more so the idiot is losing his entire settlements and he might lose his capital. Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it?
I must fulfill my slayer oath.
So much for the Grey High King. He's a bloody incompetent buffoon. I am not starting another war. All right, so I've given Belagar all he needs right now for a moment.
I am Belagar, true king of the 8 peaks. Fine.
You can thank me later.
Yet.
I can't, like, if it was a question of defeating Warzag, yes. But it's not just a question of that nature. What to do, what to do.
Yes. God. Troll Slayer.
I suppose Chaos Dwarves do hate the greenskins just as much, so. Got the caravan there, get this up. Start getting a barracks. Alright.
To war.
Yeah.
Step forth, true friend of the Ungrund clan.
Let me give him back some money.
I'll do it.
Because I obviously don't want him to end up with nothing. You know, I might save him. Like if I can save his capital, that's...
Let us begin.
Well, I mean, just Operation Save Belagar is in full effect, gentlemen. I am not gonna go with a war with Claudio. So, yeah, I mean, Ungrim can deal with the... Do I need to be concerned because Scrag might show up? Where is the bastard anyway? Oh, okay, so he's in Barrackvar.
My kin.
What do you want?
Throng of cat.
Yeah, you're on your own. Oh, shit. Aranessa. Well, he's not at war with Aranessa at the very least. Actually, he's not at war with Scrag anyway, so I can actually move out from here, save his hide, get my armies in position. Oh, Belagar. Oh, the Scourge of Aquitaine. Let's go with that.
I grow restless. My vows will be satisfied with this.
What? Onward. Aye? To war? God then.
It is time.
For the wisdom of Valea, my axe thirsts for war.
Alright, if he attacks...
What?
Yeah, it is Belagar in there at least. So we just gotta brace.
My Slayer oath would have me kill you where you...
Oh no, the thing that I expected would happen has happened. You might be losing though, so... Look, if Warzak... Oh, shit. Well, Warzak is not at war with me, so... I'll take that. Oh, crap.
The slayer in me seeks death.
Jesus, what did you do, man?
For the king! Godtrek, Gurnishan, out of my way! What? An artillery train to speed us up? By the gamma! Good, senseless violence.
Got that growth building. Got stand your ground.
Master of runecraft.
Or might have been for naught anyway.
Rune Lord.
Increase mobility, casket, triangulation. Scrag is coming. Alright. Well, Operation Save Belagar is a success. It's gotta be a freaking nightmare keeping him alive, but at least we got some progress, right? The Scourge of Aquitaine.
Time for a reckoning. Ready, axes? I won't.
Well, I can win this battle. That's not really a concern, but geez, it's been a journey, and people wonder why I consider Ungrim kind of worthless. This campaign, man, this always happens. Like if it's not Belagar, as was this case, it's Ungrim, which is far worse. And if it's not either of those, you end up in a war with Azak, Vlad, Astragoth, and maybe Grimgor joining in the fray. And you're effectively playing a generic lord, Dwarf lord, who is not a gray race with practically nothing. Like, how would you win this situation, though? It's like he's got a lot of troops. Well, you might not win it on the first go, but the important thing is you're giving Belagar time to breathe. Mistakes were made. Holy shit, I did not expect to see the 1 in 1,000 campaigns where Belagar actually loses. No, I think this is a 1 in 1,000,000 campaigns, because he's not losing to Ikakla or an Aranessa or Scrag or anything like that, which can happen, right? He's losing to the guy who had to cross the sea to attack him, and he's not actually at war with Scrag at this point. What is going on here? This is absurd. This is something else. Christine signing out.